Hi students, we are discussing the fourth unit, that is reproduction in animals. Without reproduction there is no future generation. So what is reproduction? In plants, how the reproduction will take place; in animals, how reproduction will take place. Discussing. In last class we discussed male reproductive parts and female reproductive parts. So from the female and the male gametes is testes, female gametes is ovary, and from the ovary, ovum will release, from the testes, sperms is released. When fission takes place, zygote form, the zygote will develop into embryo. After 3 months, we should call embryo is a fetus. This fetus is developed in the mother womb, in the uterus wall. So we already discussed. Today, what is internal fertilization? What is external fertilization? How the development of embryo will take place in the uterus wall. So what is internal fertilization? What is internal fertilization? For example, in animals, in last class we seen that when ovum is released from the ovary, in the fallopian tubes, it will wait for in fallopian tubes. When ovum is released from the ovary, it will enter into the fallopian tubes or ovi duct. In the same times, so if the sperms enter into the female body, the sperms are enter into the female body, into the fallopian tubes. The fission of sperms and ovum fission takes place in the fallopian tubes. Fission is going to, they are going to attach the sperms and the ovum is going to attach, and the fission takes place. Zygote is going to form. If the fertilization takes place inside the animal body, such type of fertilization is called as internal fertilization. If fertilization takes place inside the female body, such type of fertilization is called as internal fertilization. What is fertilization? Fission of male gametes and female gametes. What is fission of male and female gametes? Fission of sperms and ovumes in the fallopian tubes. Such type of fertilization is called as internal fertilization. For example, take frog, fishes. Male frog release sperms into the water. Female frog release ovum into the waters. They both sperms are released, sperms and ovum are released outside the body. When they release sperms and ovum into the water, what happens? The fission takes place outside the body, not inside the body. So if the fission takes place outside the body, such type of fertilization is called as external fertilization. External fertilization. External fertilizations we can see like frog. You can see fishes. The millions of sperms will release into the water. Male frog, and the number of eggs also release into the. Why the frog will release more eggs? Because there is a chance to fuse some eggs with the sperms. There is no chance to fuse some eggs into the sperm. That's why they release more number of eggs. But in female human being, only one ovum will be released at a time. So what happens? So how the development of the embryo will take place in the human body? Development of embryo. Development of embryo. Last class we discussed about, the male contains pair of testes. From the testes, the sperms is released, enter into the ducts. From the ducts, it will enter into the from the epididymis, it will enter into the ducts. Through the penis, the sperms will be expelled outside the body. So, but in females, from the ovary, ovum is released simultaneously. Pair of ovaries is there. Simultaneously, one ovum is released from the left ovary and the right ovary. If the ovum is released from the ovary, it will enter into the fallopian tubes. If fertilization takes place in the fallopian tubes, fission of male gametes and female gametes, zygote is going to form. If fertilization takes place in the fallopian tubes, fission of sperm and ovum, zygote is going to form. This zygote will develop into embryo. So when the zygote is formed, it will develop into embryo. This embryo will move towards the uterus wall. This embryo will move to the uterus walls. So this embryo will attach to the uterus walls. There are so many changes we can see in the uterus walls. The thickness of the uterus will increase. So when this embryo is attached to the uterus walls, so the baby that started developing in uterus walls. It is nothing but its pregnancy period. What is the pregnancy period? It's 9 months or 280 days. This embryo will develop into the uterus walls, female body. So we can see during development of embryo, 21st day, we can see heartbeat rate. During the development of 21st day of development of embryo, we can see heartbeat rate. 21st day, and 21st day we can see the heartbeat rate. After 1 month, 2 months, or few months, some organs will start growing. Legs will grow, some head, small eyes. So we can see nose, mouth, legs, hair, all the body parts started growing during the pregnancy period, that is 9 months or 280 days. When the development of baby will takes place, when fission takes place in fallopian tubes, zygote is going to form. This zygote will develop into embryo. This embryo will move from fallopian tubes to the uterus walls. So we can see so many changes in the uterus wall. Thickness will be increased. This embryo will attach to the uterus walls. There are so many blood vessels started growing. Skin will be started growing. Some fluids will going to grow around the embryos. Umbilical cord will grow. There are so many chorions, amniotic fluid is going to grow around the babies to supply the blood to the baby, to supply the oxygen to the baby, to remove the waste materials from the baby, to supply the nutrition to the baby. There are so many changes are the interconnection between the uterus walls and the embryo. There are so many changes and so many development of the uterus walls. So from the mother, the baby will start observing oxygen. From the mother, baby will start observing the nutrition. From the mother, baby started So getting the blood from the mothers. So the size also increase. This uterus size also increase in the mothers until 9 months. Through the delivery, the baby will come into the world. So this is about the pregnancy periods. Pregnancy periods. If the fission not takes place in the fallopian tubes, listen carefully. The fission not takes place in the fallopian tube. Zygote not formed. Embryo is not formed. If sperms are not going to fuse with the ovum, it will not fuse with the ovum. After few days or 14 days, this ovum will go away from the female body with the waste materials, with the blood. It is called as menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle. After releasing of ovum, if the fission not takes place, this ovum will go away from the female body with the waste materials, with the blood. This period is called as the menstruation cycle. Menstrual cycle. Periods. You can see in period cycle in female. This is about the internal fertilization and the external fertilization. If fertilization takes place inside the female body, is called as internal fertilization. In animals and human being, you can see the internal fertilization. The fertilization taking inside the female body. But external fertilizations, the fertilization takes place outside the body. For example, frog, we'll discuss in next class. For example, fishes. Fishes will release the sperms and go into outside the body into the water. In the water, what happens? The fertilization will take place outside the body. So in that food, in the ovum, there is food materials is there to grow the babies. So this is the development of embryo. Next one, we can see some resembles in our family members. Some characters look same in your family members. For example, table is there. Table we can see name of your friends. Write your name of your friends. Name of the organs. Character resembles in mothers. Character resembles in father. Character resembles in other families or relatives. Write some of your friends' name. Name of your friend. Name of your friends. Name of the organs. Name of the organs. What organs is resemble? Character resembles. Character resembles mother or father. Some characters are resembles mother. Some characters are resemble father. Some characters are resemble their other families also. Other family and the relatives also. They look like their relatives. Characters resemble. Characters resemble. Write any one of your friend name. Any one of your friend name. For example, I am writing like any one name like Razu. Name of the student's friend name is Razu. Name of the organs. What organs is there to resemble? What organs is there? For example, nose is there. Similar characters, similar structure. We can see the nose. Your nose look like your mother, or your nose is look like your father, or your nose are look like your relatives or other families also. And some students' eyes is there. Most of the students' eyes need the same structure. They are black color. Their eyes look like our mother, same. Your eyes look like your mother. In our elders, in our parents, they will say like this. Your nose is looking like your grandfather. Your nose, your eyes is looking like your grandmother. So eye, and we can see eyebrow also. Eyebrow is looking to your father or your mother or your relatives or other families. So we can see so many resembles characters. Say they look like our parents. They look like our parents. Some color also they have similar structures. Okay, color, eyes, ear also, ear lobes, external ears, external ear, foreheads, the structures. There are so many characters is there. They resemble their father. Some characters resemble their mothers. So అన్ని మీ అమ్మ నాన్న పోలికలు వచ్చినాయి, మీ నాన్న పోలికలు వచ్చినాయి, మీ తాత పోలికలు వచ్చినాయి. They will say like this. There are so many characters are so looking like same. There are different characters also is there. So there is no issue. So this is about table 1. The last one we will discuss. What is IVF? What is IVF? What is? Have you heard test tube babies? Test tube babies. What is test tube babies? Have you heard this test tube babies? IVF. There are so many couples is there in the world that do not have children. There are so many issues also is there. There may be problem in males, there is a problem in female also. But there are some problems in females. There are 2 ovaries is there in female. So these 2 ovaries. What happens? Due to some reason, this oviduct is going to block. Due to some reasons, some internal problem, this oviduct, the fallopian tube is there, this tube is going to block due to some reasons. If the oviduct is blocked, even the ovum is released from the ovary, it cannot enter into fallopian tubes. If ovum cannot enter fallopian tubes, if sperms enter into the female body, fusion not takes place because there is no. If 2 oviducts are blocked, there is no chance to get pregnancy. That's why what happens? So by the test tube babies, in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. Through this in vitro fertilization, what they will do, through some operation, they will collect the ovum. They will collect the ovum from the female test tube. It is not easy. It takes so much money and effort from the doctors. So by the observations, by doing some surgeries, they will collect the ovum from the female body in the test tube, and at the same time they will collect the sperm from the male also. Ovum and the sperm from the male. Ovum from the female, sperm from the male. So fertilization takes place in the test tube. So here external fertilization. They are collecting the ovum from the female, collecting the sperm from the male. So the fertilization takes place outside the body, outside the female body. inside the test tube in the lab, in the hospitals, they will collect. Once they collect ovum and sperms, what happens? These sperms will enter into the ovum. Or this is fusion will take place. Fertilization will take place in the test tube. Fertilization takes place in the test tube. When fission takes place, zygote is going to form. Fertilization is going to take place in the test tube. When zygote form, it will develop into embryo. So this embryo, when the embryo is developed, they collect the embryo again. They placed into the uterus wall again. They collect the embryo, so they place into the uterus walls. Only fertilization is taking place outside the female body. Once it develops the zygote and develop the embryo, they collect the embryo, simply they placed into the uterus wall. The baby again started growing in the uterus. The development of baby again started and growing in the uterus walls. Again the pregnancy period will start 9 months or 280 days. So this is about when they have difficult problems. So when in father they have problems, in mother if the oviduct are blocked, so if the seminal ducts are blocked in male, they will collect the sperms and the ovums in the test tube. Fertilization takes place in the test tube. Once they develop into embryo, they collect the embryo, they place into the uterus wall. Again this uterus walls, the embryo which started developing. It is test tube babies. Test tube babies is nothing but baby is not growing in test tube. It is impossible. It's impossible to grow the babies in test tube. So the fertilization takes place in the test tube. Fertilization takes place in the test tube. Once the fertilization takes place, they collect the embryos, they place in the uterus walls. There is a chance to get children also. If the oviduct are blocked, a seminal duct are blocked, if they have a problem in couples, so we can get the test tube babies. There are so many test tube centers is there nowadays. So many test tube centers is available. So if any of your relatives are facing these problems, you can suggest them, you can go for the IVF, in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. So this is nothing but it's external fertilization. The fertilization is not taking inside the female body. The fertilization taking outside of the body in the test tubes. Once it is developed into zygote, embryo, then again placing into this embryo into the female body in the uterus. Again it will start at the same. So development will take place in the uterus walls. We can see so many changes in the uterus walls. We can see the heartbeat rate during 21st day. Legs, head, mouth, nose will start growing normally. No problems will take place. No, this is about test tube babies. Okay, we discussed today what is internal fertilization, what is external fertilization, development of embryo, pregnancy periods, how the baby will develop into embryo. Next one is what is some characters or resembles, like nose, ears, eyes. Some characters are not resemble, like thumb impression. Thumb impression is not resembled our fathers, mothers, no relatives. So next one is what is IVF? In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. Today homework is, so table 4. Just write the table 4. Write your friend name. Resemble organs. Resembles in mothers. Resemble in father. Resembles in others, families or relatives. And write what is test tube babies. In vitro fertilization. in vitro fertilization. Okay, thank you students.